And now our starters evolve into their final form
Hello,
in the
everyone,
Starter
and welcome
Evolution
to episode 19. I'm Gabe, and today our starter Pokemon will be evolving for the last time. But
Yay!
here's a quick recap. In the last
Because Mega
episode,
Evolutions
you
aren't in
challenged
this
Beth,
world,
the fighting
as we
type
established.
researcher,
Well,
and barely
this region, I
managed to
should
win.
clarify. The world,
Coming out of the battle,
debatable.
it seems that some of your Pokemon are ready to evolve.
So right after this intro, we'll actually be able to see what those evolutions turn into. Odds are my fire type will be last, but
We've
hey,
got
you know,
quite a few to
save
get
the best
through,
for
so
last.
let's actually
Probably
start
second
with
to last.
our Route 1 flying type.
Of course,
Yes.
you gotta build up
Little
to. Ooh, I
Aztaz
love
Kite
this
is going to
outline.
get
This is a
quite large.
badass
If the
design.
pterosaur is going to be getting big, well, we better use
It went
an
from a little
Azdarkid
wacky
as
to
the inspiration.
ooh.
More specifically, this will be based on Quetzalcoatlus.
This isn't
The
like
most fun thing
Magikarp to
about the overall
Gyarados,
shape
but
is that Azdarkids had just ridiculously large heads and necks
yep.
to the point where you're like, hey, paleontologists, are you like really certain that this thing could fly? So
Yeah.
yeah, the design gets a great big old noggin. Because of this, the silhouette on its own
I mean,
could pretty easily
You know the
read
meme
as
about
though it
bees,
were
right?
a much smaller, or even like a baby
They shouldn't be
Pokemon.
able to fly, but the
a
bee
couple
does
of
not
things
care.
can be done to help counteract this. One, small eyes. Just making the eyes smaller really helps with the overall scale of the creature. I've ranted about this before, and that there are some designs like Dragonair that just don't follow this guideline particularly well, but we will be using that here.
I like Dragonair.
Two, just the level of complexity.
I don't know, I feel like if it's,
Generally,
the entire design
smaller
is
the
big, why
Pokemon,
not
the
the
less
eyes?
detail
You don't
it
need
has in
small
its
eyes on a
design.
big
So,
creature.
I mean, we don't want to go overboard, but I'm
Then again, I guess by
incorporate a good
human
number of
body
elements.
standards, you look at your body and
As
then
far
look at
as
the size of
pose
your
goes,
eyes. Something doesn't
We're
look
going
right.
to be going from Aztaz-Kite's flying
Yeah.
pose to this grounded one as a reference to real Azdarkids being incredibly effective hunters on the ground. Oh, and lastly, we are continuing with the Benjamin Franklin key and the kite experiment
Nice.
by giving this design's tail a couple ridges.
Ah,
that make
for
it
like a
look
key. Now I get
Colors
okay.
are just a slight update.
I like
on the
that.
earlier stages
That's a
of the
nice
line.
detail.
Oh, and I usually don't bring it up, but this is one of the Pokemon names that I'm really happy with. It just
Came
worked
to you?
really well on a bunch of levels. Alright, this is Quetzalcoatl.
Oh, I
Lightning
like that
Pokemon.
name. I like the shiny
This
too.
massive flying Pokemon seeks out thunderstorms to collect lightning with its long tail. It is able to tame storms or unleash lightning whenever it pleases. Remarkably, it is just as agile on the ground as it is in the skies, and its ability stays lightning rod. So that makes it draw in those moves and get boosted because of it.
I'm sorry, but
You're pretty pumped
your
to
name
have
has
this massive
11
flying type
characters.
on your
We
team,
need to
but
knock one off.
let's
We're going
see
to
how your
Feraligatr
starters are doing.
this.
First up is the water type.
Alright.
Scale is evolving, and everybody was pretty certain what was coming. Yes, Spinosaurus time. But to be
Yeah.
precise, this is based on
Look,
a more
you don't have to
accurate
like Jurassic
modern
Park 3, but the
reconstruction of
Spinosaurus looks cool,
That
okay?
means it gets that big paddle tail, the little jog in its sail.
This thing's on the
short limbs,
thumbnail,
and
to be
a personal
clear.
reference by
Like,
this
everyone saw
Pokemon's
it coming, so
primary
let's put on
typing.
the
It was
thumbnail.
a very successful predator in the water.
Yep.
Now, all of these starters are getting a secondary typing in their final form, and a
As
few
you would
of
hope.
you actually guessed that our big Spino would be
Dragon.
getting the dragon typing.
Duh.
You know, it's actually pretty
I guessed that
easy
from
to
the first
justify the
form. It
dragon
looked
typing in
bagony.
almost any dinosaur design, but this one felt particularly appropriate. Now, of course, because this is a Pokemon, I did end up exaggerating the proportions a bit, which
Naturally.
gave us these large arms and claws. Oh, and for the overall pose, I did want those hands to be on the ground, just to reference that the real Spinosaurus probably could have run short stints in a bipedal stance, but that in general they more likely lazily moved on.
Are you
land
telling me
in
that
a
Jurassic
partially
Park is
quadrupedal
not
stance.
factually
I
accurate?
knew the colors right
The
away,
nerve.
but getting the place was
But
a
yeah,
little bit of
4 legs would
juggling.
make more sense.
And here is Spinosaur.
Sort of like how bears
sail
and dogs
Pokemon.
can
This
stand on 2
incredibly
legs, but it's very
territorial
rare.
Pokemon tears through anyone who gets too close with
Jeez.
its massive claws.
The shiny's
Spinosaur
okay, I'm
are
not too
able to
thrilled about
move
it, but
through
I'm
the
also
water
not offended
with
by it.
ease,
You know,
but
it's
are
okay.
Fairly clumsy on land. They are very difficult to tame, but will form an unbreakable bond with any trainer determined enough to befriend them. Because of this,
I trained you
Spinosaur
since you
should
were
always
level
be
5.
approached
You better be
respectfully.
my friend.
Its ability is Aggression. So that boosts its dark type attacks and essentially gives it another stab.
In a way, yeah.
It's a real meanie. If you picked Grumpy Little Sailil at the beginning, be sure to let me know what you think of the final design down in the
I didn't pick it, but I like the design.
Next up,
I can still say that.
Let's take a look at the grass line. Yes, it's Cactolage's turn to grow up.
Oh boy,
I
let's see how this
line
looks.
To stay pretty adorable through and through, so this was mostly about balancing the complexity of an ankylosaur with a relatively clean and cute design. Also, I know that I just made a big deal about Spinosaur's pose, accurately reflecting the Spinosaurus's actual stance, but we're going to be a lot more loose with this starter.
Plus, let's be real here.
Getting it up
sometimes
on its legs allows for
a design that isn't accurate but looks cool
allows me to pose the
is
hands
okay.
with a bit more personality. I actually don't think anyone guessed its secondary typing, but the barbs on our cactus, along with this armor-like plating, are going to give this final evolution the steel type.
Oh, steel! Okay, that's a surprise. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Fun as the cactus theming allows me to.
We'll give it more of a defense against the water type too.
Signature ability. Past that, you know, it was just tweaking the design to land on just
this thing's
the right
really
amount
cute.
Of detail.
I don't know how they feel about this for a final evolution.
A lot more busy if it
kind of leaning into more of a Meganium design, but hey, you know what? That's not the end of the world too.
The colors were
Meganium may be like one of the worst starters ever, but
switched the shiny and base colors.
You know,
I like them both.
We can still take inspiration from stuff like that. Plus, Meganium needs a friend.
The flowering Pokemon. This gentle Pokemon keeps predators at bay with its armor plating and massive steel thorns.
Plus, I imagine that it's as adorable as that thing looks. Don't get hit by it.
By hunkering down and holding their large tails in the air to appear like a desert cactus.
Ah!
They enjoy having their bellies rubbed, but sometimes need help getting off their backs afterward. Its ability, something I'm calling Desert Adapted, and that basically makes it immune to
fire. Geez, this thing is a defense against the water dragon and is protected against the fire type. Jeez.
But if you chose cute little Cactamo at the beginning.
Also, we can hit with flying attacks because the steel type. What do we? I guess we hit it with fighting,
let's
but
go ahead and take a look at
knocking out a good amount of weaknesses.
Everyone knew that we were going to get a raptor, and here we are.
Here we go.
I know that a couple of you,
my boy, he just makes it swamp fire. No parody.
Series, but we are going to be going with something a little bit more scientifically accurate. If
You're
you
no
do
fun.
like your raptors naked, I will have a good surprise for you later in the series.
A second design?
Now, get ready for some feathers. A bit of
That's
ornamentation on the head does quickly give away its new secondary typing.
Fighting.
Our raptor is going to be so speedy that it's gaining the electric type.
Ooh,
I've been wanting
fire
another
electric.
fire
That's
electric
cool.
type for a really
I
long
like
time,
that
and this
idea.
felt like a great fit. You may also see that I did tweak the placement of the raptor's iconic sickle claw. Just to mix things up, I decided to put it on the hand instead. Again, if you like the classic Jurassic Raptor,
little
you'll
fast
get
and
that
loose.
foot claw later in the series. Now,
hinting at
with
something.
all the feathers and whatnot, it took me a lot of time to get things to kind of flow together nicely.
I'd
The
imagine.
tail in particular was rough. I mean, I wanted to work in some lightning bolt imagery while still preserving the gradual fan of feathers that most dromaeosaurs likely had at the end of their tails. Colors, also a little tricky with all the details, but we ended up with something pretty awesome, and the shiny is also just as cool. Alright, here is Flytor, the quick claw Pokemon.
I like it. It looks cool. I can believe this being a Final Form. Kind of reminds me of the Delphox colors in a way.
Heat, but also massive stores of electrical
Plus,
charge.
I'm just glad we have a fire electric.
Flytor are incredibly intelligent and know
I don't think
when
we
to
have
either
one in the
flee
main
from
series,
a
but I could
battle
be
and
wrong.
quickly run
Fact check
and
me.
attack from behind. They attack with sharp sickle claws on their
Hey, if you're
winged
watching this in the
arms,
future,
but
still
are
fact
also
check me.
quite
If we're on Gen
dexterous
like
and have been
13
observed
by the
opening
time you're
doors.
watching this.
Its ability is something new, Plasma Burst, and that means if it's ever hit by a fire or electric type attack, that boosts both its attack
Nice!
and here's our speedy little glass cannon. You'll have to let me know if you picked Fleetwee what you think of its final evolution.
I think that looks really cool.
I'm really happy
no
with
jokes.
all three of these.
I am
They
too.
feel
They look
cohesive,
great.
And they still represent that initial theming of the fight, flight, or freeze survival instincts.
Yep.
Oh, and I'm excited because in the next episode, we'll get to see some variants for the starters. Yes. We're actually going to do new forms within the same region that they're introduced. Yeah, it's very cool. I think you'll enjoy it.
You're going to do regional variants? Okay, I saw the name of the next episode, and I was curious about it, but I'm like, what? What do you mean new forms? You just gave us the evolution.
I was certain I was going to beat you, but you really pulled through. You're proving to be a great Pokemon trainer.
I guess I'll wait and see.
Congratulations on evolving your Pokemon.
Thanks.
I want to give you a couple things. Take this Pokeride signal. This will allow you to smash through any damaged obstacles.
We got Rock Smash.
Secondly, it's my pleasure to add another access code to your ID badge.
Oh, okay. We didn't forget. Don't worry. We just had to wait for the next episode.
Another Pokeride signal. And there is, of course,
cool.
sure to be a spot where you can use that coming up quickly.
Okay, now I see a reason for that thing in the hand.
And decide to head north and stop into Salur City again. Your new access code lets you purchase additional items at the Evolution Research Building. You pick up some odds and ends, but your Fractip seems particularly interested in the black belt item you just bought.
Huh?
You give it to your feisty little rock type.
And it evolves.
And it happily evolves.
I was kidding!
Yes, we are not done. There is one more evolution to take care of. Our sharp and irregular rock
time for the waifu. Rock.
Is going to be turning into the obligatory humanoid feminine waifumon of the Palean region. This design wasn't originally
it's a rock fighting type. That's kind of cool.
One day I will share with you the beta design for this Pokemon.
I'm interested.
So bad. It was probably the worst initial design.
No, I really want to see it.
So I scrapped it completely, and as I was thinking about the redesign, I realized, yes, we don't have anything that fills the waifumon trope, and I took this on as a challenge. The easy first step is just figuring out.
I don't see a cleavage. 0 out of 10. He's not done yet. I shouldn't knock points yet.
Do that job on their own. Because of the stone tool theming.
Well, you use the cleavage with a spike in it, which you think would deter the fan artists. No, not in the slightest.
Gonna get some literally killer obsidian blade arms. Thematically, Little Fractip is taking the black belt's evolution item and using it to bind together its sharp fragments.
Looks like Surini, but a rock.
That also lets me pull in some ninja-like
or Sarini, the grass-type waifu of Gen 7.
I wasn't sure how I would get believable flowing hair from a rock type.
You can't.
The wrapped fabric worked itself into a ponytail, surprisingly.
I would just said it was mud.
It took some fussing, but we ended up with a dark and edgy color palette. Get it? Edgy because of the... Alright. Here is Bledgere.
Someone's gonna get off to it.
This Pokemon has overcome its brittle stone body by reinforcing it with tightly wrapped bandages. They are quite
It does look kind of cool though. Kind of reminds me of Sheik from Legend of Zelda.
Pokemon. Bledgere have honed their arms into blades sharp enough to cut through solid steel with ease. And its ability remains sharp armor, so that means
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Defense drops, attack goes way up. It's pretty formidable, if I do say so myself. Oh,
look at them thighs.
I'm also glad that I finally got the fighting type into the line that's, based on weapons.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of evolutions.
I'll say.
Episode, so you'll have to let me know down in the comments which of these designs is your favorite.
Flytor.
With all these new Pokemon added to your
But they're all awesome.
You will now be able to travel back and help Mal at the abandoned laboratory.
You forgot the Aztec Hokkaido.
Backtracking and leave Ordo Outpost through the gates to the east and walk into the jungles of Route 9. But we will pick up from there in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching.
This is really cool, seeing some really cool designs. I don't think any of them was a miss. There were some where I'm like, that's okay, like the shiny design of the dragon and stuff like that. Or the grass type. But overall, it's still good.
Bye.
And if the worst thing I can say about it is like, that's a mid color for a shiny. Not the end of the world, really. You got some really good designs in here. I like how you went the rocket, because when I hear waifu for a Pokemon, I'm just like, okay, here's the big cleavage, the white, well, they got white hips, but it's a rock. Here's the stuff the fan arts are going to be going goo goo gaga over for days. It never ends. But you gotta placate those people, because if they stop doing that, say goodbye to half the fan artists, for better or worse. Oh yeah. But yeah, these designs are really cool. Again, there wasn't a single miss. If I had any of these, like, for a starter besides the fire type, of course, I would not feel left out. I would be like, I feel perfectly satisfied. Especially if we got the grass type, because that thing's going to be immune to the other two types. Like, steel resists dragon, unless they change that, and it already is immune to fire types. I mean, the electric type might give it a bit of an issue, but, eh. Unless you can, like, negate its ability with another ability or something like that, like there's an ability that changes ability, something like that, but if you can do that, you're fine. I remember there's one that changed ability, because that's fun to do with Truant. It's like skill swap or something like that. Oh, no fun. But yeah, every design here was a hit. It was really cool, and we got another gym badge, and yeah, the Poke Ride system, so more rock smashing. So yeah, productive episode with good design. Okay, not a super productive episode, but hey, got some new Pokemon. That's what the entire thing is about. So yeah, stuff was done. We got the gym badge. We got some cool new evolutions. We got a new Ride-mon. A good episode overall, and yeah, not much else to say. So I guess I'll cut it here. Thank you all for watching. Bye.